It can also be used to indicate existence or identity in certain constructions. For example, I have never been to Australia, indicating travel experience. He has been a great friend, indicating a state of being. More examples. I have been to Paris multiple times. She has never been to Asia. Have you ever been to Antarctica? He has been to nearly every continent. They have been to the top of Mount Everest. We have been to countless national parks. It has been a dream of mine to visit Japan. She has never been outside of her home country. They have been exploring remote regions for years. My grandparents have been to Europe several times. He has been to every state in the United States. She has never been on a cruise. We have been to some of the most beautiful beaches in the world. They have been to some of the most remote islands. Have you ever been on a road trip? He has been on countless business trips. She has never been on an airplane. They have been on a world tour. I have been to some of the largest cities. It has been a lifelong goal to travel the world. She has never been to a desert. He has been to the North Pole. They have been to the South Pole. We have been to some of the coldest places on Earth. Have you ever been to a rainforest? He has been to some of the highest mountains. She has never been to a volcano. We have been to some of the deepest caves. It has been an adventure exploring different cultures. He has been to some of the most ancient ruins. They have been to some of the most modern cities. Have you ever been to a cultural festival? She has never been to a tribal village. We have been to some of the most remote communities. It has been eye-opening to experience different ways of life. He has been to some of the busiest markets. She has never been to a wildlife reserve. They have been to some of the most endangered ecosystems. Have you ever been to an archaeological site? He has been to some of the most historic landmarks. She has never been to a natural wonder. We have been to some of the most breathtaking landscapes. It has been a privilege to witness the wonders of the world. He has been to some of the most remote islands. She has never been to a coral reef. They have been to some of the most pristine waters. Have you ever been to a botanical garden? He has been to some of the oldest forests. She has never been to a glacier. We have been to some of the most remote regions. It has been a journey of discovery. He has been to some of the most culturally rich places. She has never been to a religious pilgrimage site. They have been to some of the most spiritually significant places. Have you ever been to a World Heritage Site? He has been to some of the most iconic landmarks. She has never been to a natural reserve. We have been to some of the most biodiverse regions. It has been a humbling experience. He has been to some of the most poverty-stricken areas. She has never been to a refugee camp. They have been to some of the most war-torn regions. Have you ever been to a disaster-stricken area? He has been to some of the most resilient communities. She has never been to a conservation project. We have been to some of the most innovative sustainable initiatives. It has been inspiring to see positive change. He has been to some of the most progressive cities. She has never been to a renewable energy project. They have been to some of the most environmentally conscious regions. Have you ever been to an eco-friendly resort? He has been to some of the most remote eco-lodges. She has never been to a wildlife rehabilitation center. We have been to some of the most successful conservation projects. It has been uplifting to see wildlife thrive. He has been to some of the most endangered species habitats. She has never been to a marine sanctuary. They have been to some of the most biodiverse marine environments. Have you ever been to a sustainable agriculture farm? He has been to some of the most innovative farming communities. She has never been to an organic food market. We have been to some of the most fertile agricultural lands. It has been rewarding to support local farmers. He has been to some of the most sustainable fishing villages. She has never been to a fair trade cooperative. They have been to some of the most ethical food production facilities. Have you ever been to a zero-waste community? He has been to some of the most environmentally friendly neighborhoods. She has never been to a green building project. We have been to some of the most energy-efficient homes. It has been enlightening to see sustainable architecture. He has been to some of the most innovative urban planning projects. She has never been to a renewable transportation initiative. They have been to some of the most eco-friendly transportation hubs. Have you ever been to a clean energy exhibition? He has been to some of the most cutting-edge renewable energy installations. She has never been to a carbon-neutral event. We have been to some of the most climate-conscious gatherings. It has been encouraging to see global efforts towards sustainability. He has been to some of the most impactful environmental conferences.